We've got a special review tonight. That's right, highly anticipated Milk Bar. If you don't know who Milk Bar is, I guess you've kind of been living under a rock. There's no other way to say it. It's a dessert, shall we just call it a dessert shop in New York City that does all sorts of goodies. Fun fact, they're actually doing a pop-up in Atlanta right now. They opened up like a, I don't think it's an actual store, but they're delivering their Milk Bar products in the Atlanta area. I'm outside that area, unfortunately. Don't think I wouldn't have ordered if I couldn't have. Whole Foods only at the moment, but Milk Bar, as far as ice cream, is known for their soft serve. And I went to New York City, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was very unimpressed. I had the cereal milk flavor, which is one of their staples, and we're going to do the ice cream version. And I was highly unimpressed. However, there are other desserts, there are birthday cakes, there are cookies, there are truffles. I mean, they're doing a s'mores kit right now. Every like season they do a cake piece. Sorry, I got something stuck in my hand, it won't come off. Every season they do a cake, different cake flavor, like strawberry shortcake or a chocolate birthday cake or regular birthday cake. Other ones are leaving. I think they do a peppermint chocolate in winter, a pumpkin. So all the seasonal festive vibes. Nonetheless, we've got 4 pints here, and they all are based around their desserts, some of their desserts. So this Cornflake chocolate chip marshmallow is actually a cookie of theirs, chocolate chip cookie with a cornflake crunch and marshmallows and chocolate chips. Milk Bar, I know you are all familiar with what's called their crack pie. That name has obviously been changed. I guess I get it nowadays, crack. We'll get into that. Milk Bar pie, so it's actually like a thin, gooey, butter-like pie flavor. Let's start with Milk Bar pie, another one of their original desserts. And this is a deep vanilla ice cream with gooey butter filling and toasted oat crust. You get a look right here. It's a fairly that's the color of the base. To call it a deep vanilla, it's got this really like I'm gonna call it tan, brownish hint to it. Nonetheless, let's dig in. Since we're doing 4 pints, gonna keep it simple, quick. We're only gonna talk about the texture with this first one. As far as consistency, where does it fall in terms of premium, top tier? It's definitely not top tier. However, I am impressed with the thickness, the denseness, the creaminess. Certainly a premium ice cream. This happens to be the least caloric of the 4. It's 13 grams of fat in 3 servings. So this one is pretty light, only 660 calories for the pint. But it's pretty light. Now, despite the dense, creamy, I actually don't know if calling it premium is fair. It's a step, I'm gonna call it just under Ben & Jerry's and Haagen-Dazs. It's a little light, but still not like Bluebell, Blue Bunny level. Kind of in that middle space. For the base, I don't think it really screamed I honestly don't think I would have guessed vanilla. Maybe that's just the gooey butter filling and the toasted oat pieces kind of, I don't know, playing with me a little bit. If anything, yes, it's sweet, but it's even, I'm gonna call it buttery. I'm getting a lot of buttery tones in the base. The toasted oats crust, it's crumbled up. Very small crumbs. You can see them scattered about in here too. Definitely not like pie crust crunchy. And I'm sure that's because they're smaller and they're in ice cream. So they've gotten a little soggy. Soaked up some of the cream. You can see a bigger chunk up here. It's chewy. It almost reminds me of I don't want this to sound in a bad way, but like a soggy granola. Just more chewy than it is toasted, crunchy crust-like. They don't really do much for flavor though. If anything, they add a little burst of sweetness, a brown sugar sweetness. So there is that sweetness contrasting the butteriness in the base. So nice touch, but it's not overwhelming flavor by any means. Now you're probably all wondering, where's that gooey butter filling, right? I'm wondering the same thing, and my biggest fear has come true. I'm gonna take out this whole, what's left of the pint, not much. Look at the bottom here. That, my friends, is what you call a sunken swirl. That's terrible. And it's not, I don't really know. It could be Milk Bar's fault because they're new production. I'd like to think not, because I've seen some reviews that have the swirl throughout. It's just probably more of a transit problem. It melted somewhere along the way, or it was mishandled at Whole Foods. Nonetheless, I'd be willing to bet this pint got soft, even melted a little bit, and all that swirl sunk to the bottom. Now, it's dense, it's thick, it's gooey. It's spectacular in terms of consistency. Like I said, I just wish it was mixed throughout. Flavor, extremely buttery. Huge amounts of butter. Imagine eating a gooey butter cake, obviously. And it's just like that. It's sweet, it's rich, it's extremely buttery. So, I think the flavor here is great. Not necessarily true to its name, like I wouldn't call it a vanilla base. And the toasted oat crust, it's not really like toasted and crust, like it's more chewy. And the gooey butter filling, phenomenal though. But like I said, we got some QC issues. I don't really know where to go with this because I really doubt that caramel sinking to the bottom is Milk Bar's fault. I'll dock them a little bit, but not a lot. Overall, the flavor is great. I still think it's worth picking up, especially if you're into their gooey butter or their crack pie, as it used to be called dessert, now called Milk Bar pie. Nonetheless, I'm gonna give Milk Bar pie a 7.5 out of 10. Up next is Cornflake chocolate chip marshmallow. Now, as I said previously, this is based off their cookie. That is a just like a chocolate chip cookie, but they added these cornflake crunchies on top and a little bit of marshmallow. So the ice cream version is actually cookie dough flavored ice cream with cornflake crunch, chocolate flavored chunks, chocolate chips, and melted marshmallow. There we go, look at that. I don't know if you can hear me crunching on the crunch. As always, let's start with the base. It's not bad, but once again, I don't think it screams cookie dough. Of course, there's a crap ton of mix-ins. Just look at this. So it's really hard to just get a scoop of the base. Very sweet. So with the cookie dough, you typically get, like a brown sugar, molasses type vibe. I can see that here. I just don't think it screams cookie dough. Now, I'm about halfway down, and let's go ahead and address it. Where's the marshmallow swirl? I'm wondering if the same things happen. We're gonna get to the bottom. We're gonna find out. For now, let's talk about the other mix-ins, the chocolate chips and the cornflake crunch. Chocolate chips, or flakes, flakes, not chips, are, I don't want to categorize them, but they're just like any other chocolate chunk. They're substantial, like they crack and crunch a little bit, especially as your spoon hits them and as you bite into them, but if you were to let them sit in your mouth a little bit, they do get soft and melt fairly quickly. No issue with the texture. The flavor, thankfully, is a little darker, a little more bitter. Let me see. Yeah. Than. It's a little more dark and bitter than it is sweet, which is great because, as I said, the base here is pretty sweet, being cookie dough flavored. That cornflake crunch is probably pretty hard to see. You might can see some little light yellow specks in there. And they are phenomenal. Here's a little, it's tough to see, but it's really all in that mixture right there. They are phenomenal. Flavor and texture. I'm mind blown. Imagine Frosted Flakes. That's the flavor. A burst of sweetness, sugary sweet, and the texture. Let's talk about the texture. They're crunchy. I don't know if you can hear that. I hope you can. Otherwise, my review's just like crap. They're crunchy, super crunchy. I don't know how that happens. Like the toasted oat crust in the previous pint was soggy. These are crunchy. It's blowing my mind, especially for being, y'all know Frosted Flakes, how thin they are and how quickly they get soggy when you pour a bowl of cereal. Not here. They're crunchy. They're phenomenal. So, I'm here to report that I just didn't get any marshmallow in this one. I mean, I'm digging. There's none at the bottom. Just trust me. Okay, here. I'll scoop out what's left. None at the bottom. It's all still ice cream. So yeah, that's a big miss here. I did get a few spurts. You can't really see it, but here's a small pool. I mean, I can't really address it. It's not here. The two itty bitty pools I got, I didn't really notice a consistency change. Obviously, extra sweet, extremely sweet. I kind of think it would have pulled this flavor together a bit more. Milk Bar is going to have to take the blame for this one because it's missing. Overall, it's not bad. I don't like it as much as the other one. I think the marshmallow would have helped this out, but you know, your opinion's going to vary. Cookie dough's fine. The chocolate's fine. The Cornflake Crunch is phenomenal, and thankfully it's going to be another pint that we're about to get into. So that's about the only thing keeping this keeping this ice cream in the game for me. Once again, a little more QC issues, but Cornflake Chocolate Chip Marshmallow gets a 6.5 out of 10.